Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 3 banger matches about to be followed up by a 4th to finish off the night. And it's been a great Wednesday night. Lots of entertaining matches. Let's see if Gravitas and Peace can live up to the hype or live up to the other matches we've seen tonight. I'm sure it can if Gravitas play that, cheesy style of gameplay we know that they can bring to the table, which is what we heard in the interviews earlier, especially from Only, saying that these teams towards the lower side of the table really need to find what works for them, and that certainly has been for Gravitas Juice.
Yeah, the only counterpoint to that, I think, what Only said is that if you play the game in a cheesy way, I guess, then you don't learn how to play the game properly.
Yeah.
So you're going to still have the same fundamental problems, right? Like the holes will always be there. And eventually, you won't be able to play those drafts that you get away with and win on. So I think it's like, if most teams say that this is like a developmental period for them, then they should really utilize this split to learn the fundamentals as a team, learn what works for you, learn what doesn't, patch up those holes and come back stronger.
It's been a good time for Peace, though, throughout the split. Only 2 losses so far, and looking to make an 8th win a reality today. And if we have a look here, I really want to talk some smack about Halo there, but I heard that he's got like 40 cousins which are going to come after me. So, Jordan, I'll hand the reins off to you.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to talk any smack at this point, but I did appreciate that one, Mac. Look, I mean, I think Peace is still looking like the 2nd best team in the league, but they have had that sort of weird, rougher run of form. Obviously, granted, they did win their match yesterday, and they did so in fairly handy fashion against the Chiefs. But the losses earlier on, I just thought, okay, after that game against Pentanet, something might be going a little bit wrong for them, because things seem to slow down after they lost to Direwolves there as well. I'm hoping that's really just a blip in the radar, and Peace is going to come back into fighting fitness and hopefully be able to challenge Pentanet in round 2 when that matchup does come back, because they're definitely looking like the team that should be closest to Pentanet. It just unfortunately has been a little bit of a rougher run of form for them lately. So whatever the issues they've been having, hopefully they've worked them out. Hopefully they come into this game and just win it cleanly, because quite frankly, that's what the expectation should be for them. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Peace still looks like a good roster, and some better looking signs from that game against Chiefs than what we saw a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, it's been relatively decent for them. Now, on the other side of the field, we had a quick chat about Gravitas, but let's bring up the lineup and talk more in depth about what they need to do to maybe topple Peace here, or is it just a matter of doing as best they can, Juice?
Well, 2 roster swaps here. Firstly, the big thing to point out, nobody coming into the top lane. And by nobody, Lachlan Keane O'Keefe. So it's actually a person. And Kiyose coming back. And he was being one of their star players with Azus. So excited to see what I would call this maybe their full strength roster, depending on how nobody, obviously you can swap out nobody and Safa. That's what they've done most of the split. And, I think they really have an identity that works for them. They've had some very good moments, Gravitas, and consider them very legacy-esque in the sense that they have the potential and been in positions to upset a few teams this year. And I think they're very, very early on in their journey and in their development. And I think they always have the tools in the shed to create an upset or to make it a competitive game. It's just been a few inexperienced decisions or players that have, stumbled in key moments, which, in my opinion, Peace don't do, the Direwolves don't do, and, the top teams don't do.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting today with these roster swaps to see exactly how they fare, going up against Peace. Is it more of a, okay, this game's going to be pretty damn hard. Do we just let some of the other boys on the field, give them a run? Because, look, what's the worst that could happen if we're going up against one of the strongest teams in the league?
Oh, I do think this is one of their strongest rosters, Gravitas. So I think they're playing to win for sure. I think when you play nobody, it means that you're going to get an out-and-out tank top lane player, right? Difference between him and Safa, nobody plays tanks, Safa plays carries. Safa plays Aurelia Camille, nobody plays Ornn, Malphite, whatever Scion, whatever you want to put him on, he'll play. So I think that's really the only change. Kiyose coming in says to me that's a full-strength roster. Only other conversation you could have is, and I know this probably pleases Twitch chat, you could have Thomas Shen come in for Piglet, and maybe that's an upgrade. Maybe that's a copy and paste. Maybe that's a mute all of us and play a Thomas Shen montage in the background. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should shut up these three idiots on camera and play the Thomas Shen montage or something.
I didn't want to
I've
say
seen
that.
a few
I already
times.
said my one volatile statement.
Well, look, we have to shut up anyway because it's Nat's time to shine. Let's bring her in. And who do you have to have a chitty chat with before the final game of the night?
I am going to be talking to Kiyose and Appy. I'm sorry, my dog's playing with my feet at the moment, so I could be moved around in my chair. I do apologize. But Appy, I want to start with you guys. We were talking about it on the desk, but you've played 9 different champs. You're 9 for 9. Is it a goal for you to play a different champion every game, or is it just something that's happened with drafts?
I'll say that's only because it happened on draft. Like, I didn't intentionally just pick different champion every game. Like just last game, I was picking Aatrox. I didn't plan to play Aatrox, but they picked Sign, and Aatrox really needs Sign, so I just said Aatrox. So I didn't just intentionally, you know.
Alrighty, well look, maybe it'll play out that you do end up going the whole regular season with different champs. But we've got you, Kiyose, on the other side, where we saw you unfortunately subbed out last night because your team wanted to try a different sort of style in the mid. Does that push you to want to try different champs and have a different play style, or are you just really confident in how you are and that's what you want to bring?
Yeah, definitely pushing myself to play other champs, but yeah, like we'll see what will happen today, but like I can't like say much. Maybe I'll pick Ari, maybe I'll pick another champ, maybe I'll pick like a champ that like they don't know I play, but yeah, maybe something like that.
We'll keep our eyes peeled. You also are in a very similar boat to Mammoth for playoffs. It's not impossible, but it is quite difficult. So how much pressure are you guys feeling for this week's games?
Not really pressured because we just want to prepare for Split 2 more, but we really want to try show our improvement as these games go on in Split 1. So yeah.
Well, look, I think you guys have already shown so much improvement to the very first game that we saw you, but it's great to hear that you do have eyes set on Split 2 as well. But Appy, over at Peace, you guys are a different story. If you win today, I do believe the numbers tell me that you're guaranteed for playoffs. So how are you feeling with that one? And, you know, does it put more pressure on this game for you guys or not at all?
I'll say not at all. I don't even know, like, this game we get playoff. I'll say, like, everyone's confident, like, we get playoff. We make final anyway, so I don't think who cares about that.
Alrighty, well, I will let you both go. Thank you so much for joining me and good luck with the game.
Thank you. See ya. Bye.
Interesting mic setup there from AP. Hopefully they can
Good
get
insight
that one
from him,
sorted because his comms are going to be all over the place. I guess, you know, maybe Gravitas is a good bet if they're not going to be able to hear him from the top lane.
They'll just hear 2. Hearing 2 is fine. Double the comms. double the communication means that there's no excuse not to get it right. In fact, if you get it wrong when you hear it twice, then quite frankly you shouldn't be on the roster. And I might have a word with management myself. See what's going on, guys.
Yeah, look, I'm sure Marco would love to hear from you. Someone else that wants to hear from us is the predictions, who got our predictions, and now we're going to put him in a little graphic below us. And I think this one was another clean sweep where we have all gone for peace. Unfortunately for Gravitas, none of the talent are believers in terms of the predictions, but maybe that's just because we're trying to play it safe. Of course, I was going for that legacy pick, trying to maybe catch up to anyone. I don't know. I would have been 25 and 14. Nat would have been 28 and 9, or 28 and 11, and it would have been one step closer. But at this point, it's just like, who cares? Maybe I should have picked Gravitas just to keep things spicy.
No one wants to get stuck behind you, Mac, so we've all got to just try and keep ahead of Mac. Someone has to be the sacrificial lamb. Someone has to be last place, and
look,
seems like that's you this season, so
man,
no one
all
else
I'm
wants to
saying
take
is
that.
I've been squatting. It's a good view behind me, so if any of you want to throw a couple, maybe get behind me, it's all right. Look, I'll be open to that.
Well, the thing was, you have been squatting, but you've also been eating a lot of burritos and spicy food, so no one wants to be behind you, that's for sure.
Oh my god, Tubes.
Touche. Well, I didn't catch that, Mr. Witherby, so if you could just repeat that quickly. Of course. No worries.
Of course.
So, you know, Jubes, I love you. And something else I love is esports assessment labs. I'm sure you guys at home love it as well because it's a great tool. It's a great tool to implement your gameplay, to assess your gameplay, and also to improve it. You know, your reaction time, your cognitive ability, go through all the tests. You can even just keep track of your performance at any given moment. You know, do it today, do it next week, and it'll be a nice little way to assess, track exactly your improvement or maybe, you know, your deterioration like we spoke about earlier on. But look, that brings us into the game. So everyone's ready, everyone's waiting, and let's not hold things up any longer. Peace and Gravitas, match 4 for the night. Let's go.
Let's
Away
go,
we go.
indeed. Yeah, thanks, Mac. And instantly you see the respect ban, Ari taken away from Kiyosei. And actually, even to an extent, Gravitas getting rid of the Zaya. We've seen Violet on that, having some good performances. Does deny the Zaya of Khan combo for Peace. So, I mean, some target bans initially coming out.
Ornn's a target ban as well. Nobody played quite a lot of games of Ornn last year, I believe. I haven't pulled out the stats, but fairly certain we know him as that tank player anyway. So good ban to take away from him. Maybe they want to create a little bit of a volatile matchup topside. Seraphine being taken away now. One of those S tier picks in the meta right now. A lot of people saying, the strongest champion in the game. Hecarim also. Yep.
Hecarim taken away. I mean, it's so far nothing really surprising when it comes to the bans. And Thresh in the bot lane, definitely been a power pick these days. So get that one out of the picture as well, as far as Gravitas is concerned. Does leave Udyr open, and Peace are quite keen to snatch that one up. That's an insta-lock, like what you see in solo queue.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real good matchup into Udyr. Udyr doesn't struggle into anything. So, you know, Asus could pick whatever he wants. And whilst Asus may not necessarily get punished, the Udyr is just going to be farming up a storm, come to teamfight phase, and be able to influence the game a significant amount.
Yeah.
Lilia is an interesting one because I don't think Asus had the best game, if I'm being completely honest. Didn't look very comfortable on the Lilia yesterday.
Perhaps there is a redemption arc in there. I will say, at least as far as Peace is concerned, they actually haven't played the Udyr so far in the LCO, whether it was Lisa or Kevy jungling for Peace. So something new for them to sort of play around with. Up in the top lane, it'll be Sion for Gravitas, and that certainly seems to be in the wheelhouse for Nobody, something that you talked about just before we went into the draft. So not a big surprise going up there. Keeping the flex pick open, perhaps, for Peace here with Tristana, potential for Violet, potential for Halo to pick that one up.
Halo's been playing the Tristana, so definitely a double flex in that position, or rather with that champion. Violet more than comfortable in piloting that champion as well. However, sometimes 80 carries all over the world really do struggle with the rocket jump for some reason. It's always the 80 carry that jumps in with the rocket jump and gets absolutely the one shot for the 1,000 gold bounty. So maybe it's safer to put Tristana in the mid lane position.
You just get that rush of blood where you feel like, I can do this, but sometimes you miscalculate. I mean, no one ever notices the jumps forward that go well. You know, that's the problem with Tristana.
True.
But you do notice the jumps forward that are just giga in, and you go, oh, that was pretty bad. So there is that. It's hard role to play, I think.
Yeah, and the weird pick for me here is the Vayne. Like, the Vayne makes sense when you think of it in isolation. You think of Vayne into role, able to tumble and condemn the engage. You think of it into Udyr, able to shred through that Udyr, because a lot of what happens with Udyr's build path is health, right? And Vayne, obviously, % HP shred. However, I'm intrigued because in theory, Rel has no avenue into a team fight, right? In theory, you tornado the engage from Rel. You disengage with the Janna Monsoon. So, in theory, you're able to kite this composition thus far of Peace.
Why do you keep saying in theory?
Because theory, a lot of things sound good in theory. However, when you consider ratios, when you consider nameplates, when you consider a few other factors, it doesn't usually play out to theory. That's why I say that. It's also just in terms of liability, right? I don't look so bad if I say in theory, because then potentially the bot lane just gets washed and
you're hedging your
it was
bets.
a terrible pick. And then it will, okay, I said in theory. So then no one just comes at me and says, you know, you said this.
Well, can't stop a gold card if Aladoric is able to get that one weaved through.
Well, Halo.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Halo, of course. Yeah, I mean, I always do this in Champ Select. I don't know why. but it
Oh, well,
happens.
no, but I thought maybe TF support. There's a few Twitch chatters out there that have spoken about TF support, but we won't mention that.
TF support, Pog. Yeah, let's do it. I'd be keen. I've played that once or twice. Not to a great, you know. No, we'll just let's not talk about it. That's all I'm
Bit
saying.
of a run me down.
Yeah, sometimes. Yone comes out for the mid lane for Gravitas. So interesting team composition. Lots of carry potential on their roster.
Yeah, well, this is the composition that Legacy would have liked, right? Having the Lilia as an example, as an AP threat. You know, it's very similar to Legacy's composition in that sense. However, they have opted in for some magic damage, which now means that they can't just straight stack armor, but they also don't have a beefy double front line, right? Because Na doesn't just build straight stats. Na builds, you know, the Stride Breaker or builds items that do damage as opposed to tank. So if I'm being completely honest, if the Janna lane, again, I haven't seen Janna versus Rel, right? But Janna's not popular in the meta by any means. But if the lane plays out as well as I think it possibly can, I don't mind Legacy's draft at all. Legacy. I don't mind Gravitas' draft at all.
It's kind of like Legacy's draft, so you can't.
Yeah,
really blame
exactly. That's why I said it. So, you know, weak side top lane. Sion's just going to be on an island, trying to farm up the best he can. Lilia's going to be able to match tempo with Udyr. And once that level 6 comes around, if Gravitas win a team fight here or there, they're going to be able to snowball this one.
I'm just having a look at some of the runes here, and Guardian for Azaya on the Janna. So that instantly screams to me, okay, we need to be a little bit careful in this lane. You know, otherwise you're going Airy, or potentially even you're going Comet to try and be that lane bully. But in a competitive environment like this, maybe Guardian is a better option. Yeah, very interested to see how this goes. I feel like there's a lot of situations where Janna can be picked and you can say, okay, well, if everything goes to plan, you know, if every tornado hits, if you're able to peel as well as you possibly can on the Janna, then technically no one should be able to get onto anyone at that point. But it very rarely goes like that. You know, there's flanks, there's players coming from 2 different directions, and there's always situations where you just can't quite get that tornado out quickly enough or what have you. That throws a bit of a spanner in the works. But I'm excited to see how it goes here for Azaya. That's all I can really say.
And sometimes comfort's the best thing to pick, right? We talk about champs ratios, how strong they are, how bad they are in the meta, but at the end of the day, there's no real substitute for comfort. You know, sometimes you prefer one of your players picking a champ not too strong in the meta, but something that they're very comfortable on because they know how to play it in all scenarios. And, you know, if they're able to climb to a high rank in solo queue playing that champ, then they're going to fare very well on it.
Indeed, indeed. And we can have a bit of a discussion with Peace about some of these picks as well, because we do have an interview lined up with Midlord once again. So it's good to have you on the show again, Midlord. And I wanted to ask you first, before we get into the picks, what the general feeling is like in the Peace camp. A couple of games. Has that win yesterday against Direwolves sort of boosted the confidence back up again?
Because our players have some argue about the draft, but I think it's better. We have to figure out a better way for us to the draft.
All right, let's talk about the Janna then. Was that, I mean, I guess that wasn't a planned selection. Was that something that Azaya just said, okay, I'm gonna take this, and then, you know, how do you guys sort of think about planning against that? I mean, is that a champion that you expected to see, or how are you going to deal with it?
It's hard to say because we just confirm our players' opinion, and they just want to pick that for against the Janna. I think it's better, so we just pick that.
Okay. Hopefully things are going to go well for you. Overall, Peace at the moment are looking like they're taking the second place. Is there much of a discussion around that game that will potentially be coming up against Pentanet and how you're going to go about that one?
Our goal is the first place, but at the second it's look like a little bit harder for us. But we will try our best to do that. We hope maybe next week we can win against the PGG game.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, it's great to hear from you, Midlord, and we'll hopefully get to chat again sometime in the future. I wish you the best of luck in this game.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I love how he's laughing at the end of it too. What a cheeky man. I do like the interview from him there, in the sense that you know, we've spun the narrative of, you know, second place Peace, but they have their eyes set on first place. You know, if they take that win against Pentanet, all of a sudden 1 win away from first place. So why not? Why not have your eyes on the prize?
Yeah, that's a good point. And eyes on the prize for this one as well. Lisa down in the bottom lane. One of the prizes for the junglers, Shoots. Going to be those Rift Scuttlers. It looks like it'll be a trade and, well, an engagement in the bot lane as well. Aladoric is going to get knocked up. Hey, this Janna seems to be working out nicely. Exhaust does prevent Aladoric from running away too quickly, but he'll be okay. The flash engage as I is overcommitted, but no, has he? He hasn't. It's first blood for Piglet. What is going on in the bot lane?
We're really seeing the two quote-unquote counter picks come together here, right? And we might see Piglet get dove here.
Yeah, he is going to be dope, but how is this going to work out for Peace? Piglet doesn't quite get enough damage out, and so Peace do end up winning that trade overall.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out to be a situation that you'd have to say do favor the side of Gravitas. However, Lisa's pathing towards bot side really got the job done there. You know, Azus did have to path towards top side because he couldn't contest that. It is the right thing for Azus to do. Gravitas' bot lane just needed to play a little more passive, a little more safe. They did get engaged upon here though. Good to trade back. Piglet just needs to be disciplined and leave tower here. He can walk away from tower, lose a few minions, but be able to catch up, you know, or get majority of the wave. Like Lisa's only walking forward because Piglet's staying on the turret. So this is what we talk about, just these little things, these little instances of play, and nice sidestep. Can he get away?
Don't think so at this point. Has got flash available, but surely there's enough damage. Even tries to use the E to just get a bit of extra distance, but inevitably he would have had to have gone back to it even if he didn't die.
And this is the problem when you draft something like the Janna, right? You can't, as a Janna, you can't keep Rel in lane. So whilst it's maybe a good 2v2 matchup and you're happy with that, you can't influence the map like Rel does. With the CC, with the mobility, and you know, the best you can do is throw a NATO into the lane like that, still goes down, and Aladoric's back in time to catch the wave even, and even then, Tristana's not really out of threat of being dove 1v2, especially versus Janna Vayne.
Yeah. There was a few nice little outplays, I felt like, from Isaiah on Janna in that engagement, but end of the day, it still doesn't favor you. And Janna's one of those champions where you can start to get a little bit overconfident, you know, and you're like, okay, I'm going to start limit testing here.
Yeah.
And then you sort of in. So if you're ahead, she feels really nice to play. If you're behind, sometimes doesn't really go the way you want it to. So we'll see how this one works out for Gravitas. It's not the start that they probably wanted. I mean, I lie. I guess it technically was the start that they wanted because they did get first blood, but haven't been able to convert it.
So the one nice thing if you're Piglet and Isaiah here is that Tristana can't actually freeze the wave. She can slow build though, and we do see Twisted Fate pathing towards bot side, so we might actually see a dive on this wave. Gravitas need to start thinning this one out if they want to stop that possibility. But I think Azus has read it, and he might be here to counter, but he is channeling his base, so they've scrapped that play, so they're able to just eat this minion wave under tower.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite hard to thin a wave as Vayne Janna, to be honest,
of course.
against the Trist. So they're constantly going to be getting pushed into tower, which is only good news, really, for Peace. I mean, where's the pressure right now on the Peace bot lane? There's no chance of Kyose getting down and roaming. Look at the vision control in the bot side. And you're going to be able to constantly get tower plates, much kill threat from a Janna Vayne lane. So Peace are in a good spot at the moment.
Well, they're just basically 2k gold up just from farm and a couple of kills in lane. So obviously seeing their prowess in the laning phase, we always talk about it, how good they lane into, you know, majority of the opposition. I don't think they've really had a game where they've been run over apart from maybe the Pentanet game. So might see an all in here.
Yeah, Violet didn't quite manage to get in front of the Vayne, so Aladoric couldn't get the stun on Rel. Need to have the champion in between you and your mixed teammate, but a bit of interesting stuff going on in mid. Kyose's looking for something.
Now, did Halo flash on the spot or over the wall? We didn't get to see the initial...
Yeah.
I heard the flash sound go off, so I'm not sure where he flashed to or from, but nevertheless, you'd have to say worth trade coming out of the Gravitas mid-jungle duo there, getting the flash off Twisted Fate. Lilia has hit level 6, so potentially might see a play in the mid lane. The thing about Twisted Fate to Elfish is that you have to play through mid, right? You can't not play through mid because if you gank side, TF is just going to follow. So a lot of the time when you see TF get really accelerated or get really far ahead in a game, it's because they skip that step. So you either need priority in mid lane, or you've just got to kill the TF first, then go to a side. But if you just straight skip that step, go bot lane, you bet TF's going to just counter that, and with the teleport or even the Destiny. So we'll see what Gravitas decide to do.
TF does provide a lot of pressure, even when he's doing nothing. Kind of like Karthus in a way. You always know in the back of your mind that there's a third party in this fight that can cause some problems for us. Halo's got the blue buff here as well, so we'll be easily able to clear that mid wave out. Not that he wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Oh, I don't think Azus was spotted by that control ward just yet.
I don't mind this from Azus. Very non-committal gank, right? He's just watching his bot lane as the lane pushes out, and this is really good from him. He does have to be here.
Well, he is indeed. Isaiah hanging around, does burn the Guardian. Is that going to be a difference maker? Aladoric dives in, low HP, and the gold card on Piglet. That's not looking too crash hot for Gravitas, but can they survive? Isaiah is and in the end, Buster Shot is enough from Violet. Azus has to scurry away as well.
Did Halo use the TP and the Twisted Fate ultimate to get there? Hey, so he treated real... Oh no, he might have TP'd back to mid. I actually didn't see. I'd be lying if I said I knew, but might have TP'd back to lane and then used the teleport to get bot side. Would have been a bit of an overkill if he decided to do that.
No, he just teleported with his
just teleported,
his
yeah,
ulti.
with the ult. Yeah. And it's just, this is what TF does, right? Like we said, you got to go through mid. They were in a weird or awkward predicament where Azus didn't...
Many options. There's no options really open though for Gravitas, is there?
Oh. No,
Isaiah dove. Oh my word, that damage is something insane. Here's a bit of a turnaround. The Gnar ulti does pop things back in the direction of Peace, but this is what Peace kind of needs to avoid. Piglet, potential for him kill here. Gold card does save Aladoric. Nobody doesn't have ulti to chase with. It could have been worse for Peace, to be honest.
Well, very big bounty over towards, not sure who got the kill. It was either the Lilia or Yone, maybe? Didn't see it in the fight there. A little bit aggressive from Violet. I think he just, wanted to see if he could end the game in that scenario. Not sure if he had QSS in that instance either, but I think there's more of a limit test than anything, right? 11k gold up. You see the Janna walk up to the wall here. Why not? Why not? And he goes for it. But it's very good follow-up from Gravitas, right? They know who the focus needs to go on to. Get the kill straight away, and once Violet goes down, there's a possibility that he's very close to the 11k gold lead. Obviously not literally the 11k, but I reckon he's, up 5k? 5k maybe?
Yeah. It was Azus, by the way, that got the shutdown.
Okay.
To Violet. So
you're not mad
over
about
to
that.
Lilia. Destiny providing a bit of vision here, and again, it's Isaiah that's caught out on Janna.
So now, probably a 3 inhib angle at 24 minutes.
I mean, is it not at this point just to end? Like, they have Baron.
Yeah, no minion wave at the moment. They might wait for the next one. Yeah, that's an end angle.
With that kind of damage?
Yeah.
I don't think you're too scared. 9-1-1 on Tristana. Pretty much one-shotting anyone in half a second. If you get a whole second of uncontested firing.
Here we go.
Yeah, well, Gravitas are going to try and make something happen. Nobody charges on in there on Scion, but once you're in, you can't get out, especially when Magnet Storm is available. Isaiah stunned up again. It's a double kill already for Violet. Hasn't quite gone too deep. Able to turn back around and escape. And Gravitas down to their last remaining 2 defenders. No ultimate on either of them. No summoner spell on either of them. Kyose trying desperately. It was a nice condemn from Piglet. But realistically, there's just no avenue of defense here for Gravitas. It will be 1-9 for them. And for Peace, 2 wins in a row now for this week. 8-2, continuing to ramp that form back on up. And that's much better work from Halo today. He doesn't get any kills. 0-1-9, but hey, support mid laner we talked about. We had a little bit of a meme there about maybe support TF in the draft.
We did, yeah, we did.
Turns out to be the support TF. Love to see that.
Well, TF isn't like the hyper carry, right? TF is more of an enabler. You hit side lanes, and I think what they did was they really enabled Violet in that game. A lot of resources down bot side. Lisa popped his head in there a couple times, and it was really just clean. It didn't really look like there was ever any danger of Gravitas taking that one, and they tried something with their draft, they weren't rewarded with it, and Peace are just too good sometimes to let that one slip. And Mac?
Hi. Yep. Welcome.
What do you reckon about that
You can't
one, mate?
welcome us.
Well,
We've been here. You're
yeah,
the one that's getting
true.
welcomed.
That is
Welcome.
true.
Welcome to the desk,
That's
gentlemen.
slack.
You've been down on the sidelines, obviously casting, or in the middle of the field. I don't know where you really cast from, honestly. But Violet on Trist, so not on the Kaiser, which we've seen him farm on a lot, or the Zaya, which has had a lot of success. But it was when I saw the Trist pick, I was like, good. Finally get to see him do some work on another champ, and well, work he did, getting all the items really early, getting away to a lead, giving up that bounty, just limit testing towards the end, but of course the game was too far gone for Gravitas, and there you have it, with the Baron buff, they just run it in at the end, and there wasn't really a lot that Gravitas could have done in that final fight.
No, final fight was signed, sealed, and delivered, probably even before that, like 11k gold lead at that point. Very hard to come back from. It's pretty much all these instances that we're seeing on the replay where Tristana's just picking up double kill after double kill, and it really just stems from Peace playing their comp out really well and Gravitas not respecting where their jungler's path is, right? I think Peace play a lot better around pressure, right? They know Lisa's going to be here, we start trading aggressively, whereas Gravitas just start trading aggressively, and that's the big fundamental difference.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
guess really at this point there wasn't a whole lot that Gravitas could do once you're that much gold ahead, even with Baron available as well. Peace make it kind of look easy to finish off, but there was certainly some moments there. I mean, I thought nobody with the two-man knock-up down in the bot lane, that started to get me a little bit excited for Gravitas. Unfortunately, yeah, just not enough.
Yeah, some moments of glory, but that's about all that there really was. Shout outs to Hamdy7, who was the #1 fan, dropping some ridiculous amount of points on Gravitas in the chat. I think it was 90,000. He said he did it accidentally, but we all know.
I'm pretty sure.
97k. Well, he did a lot of thousands of points, and apparently did it accidentally. I don't think it was accidental. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Thought he'd go for the flip, try to get all the other points for himself. But maybe he was just a little bit too ambitious this time. But, #1 superfan. And #1 interviewer is Nat T as well. So let's bring her back in to the conversation. Nat, who do you have to have a chin wag to for this victory winners interview?
I am going to be joined by Violet, which I'm very excited for. Violet, congratulations on a win. I want to ask, firstly, about the rel pick that you guys had. It's not a champion that's constantly picked or banned. So I just want to think that and why you guys ended up picking it this game.
I think Rel is probably one of the strongest supports right now in the game, and there are two champions that do decent Rel, 3 maybe, Gragas, Thresh, Alistair. They banned Thresh, I think, and we banned Alistair. So I mean, it was just a free game for Rel, and I don't think the support knows how to play Gragas in solo queue. So it was a free dub once we locked in Tristana Rel, and they picked Janna Vayne.
Do you think that was a pretty big contributor to your win?
Yeah, for sure. I think Rel, as I said earlier, it's just a really strong champ, and I think to play Vayne Janna, you have to be insanely good at bot lane. Maybe if they were Uzi and Meng or something, but their bot lane skill level is a bit too low to pull out Vayne Janna into us. So.
And how was it for everyone else in the game? How were their lanes going, and how were the comms like for you guys?
Appy was pretty quiet that game, because he was I think it was mostly jungle, mid, and bot lane communicating that game, because we were making a lot of map plays around me and mid specifically. So everyone was talking a lot. Appy was just chilling in the top lane, just farming it up.
Well, look, it led you guys to a win, so that's going to feel great. I do want to lastly ask, Legacy is your game for Friday. After seeing them play today, how are you guys feeling coming into that one?
Legacy, they actually had a pretty good early game against PGG, but at the end of the day, I think I'm going to gap their bot lane even harder than Predator and Decoy gap their bot lane, so...
Well, there you go. We'll be looking forward to that one on Friday, no doubt. And congratulations again on the win.
Thank you very much.
It's all about the gaps with these league players all the time. I just don't know why they have this fascination with gaps. Anyway, look, crazy interview. I'm going to call out Aladoric and say, get your ass on the interview, man, because we want to have a chat to you, and you're just keeping that away from your beautiful voice. We want to hear from you.
I didn't know
We've
if
been
it was
told that he's a genius.
I didn't know it was okay to say it, but I really wanted Aladoric's insight on the Rel pick, and I really wanted to interview him tonight, but unfortunately he just didn't want to talk to me. But that's okay, because Violet was very lovely. I enjoy talking to him too.
Always a great insight there from Violet. And look, that brings us to the play of the day. So before I throw it out, I will let you guys guess what it is. If you remember the best plays from today, you know, we'll go across the line here. Jubes, you first.
It's either the Skarner Baron Steal or Changyi triple kill or quadra kill, whatever it was.
Okay. Jordan?
Tough one. Tough one. Yeah, I'm not coming up with much, Mac, to be honest. I can't believe you've done this to me. Why have you put me on the single? This is the worst time.
You watched all the games,
I'm out
you?
in front of everyone. I've got nothing to say. Everyone's just looking at me. I mean, this is the worst. This is like when you get pulled up at an assembly and you have to make a speech in primary school. You've forgotten your speech. You've forgotten your notes. There's nothing to say, and then you're just and ahhing, and everyone's looking at you. I mean, get this off. Get it off. Get it off. Come on.
Can we end it there on his single or?
Yeah, I don't think we really. That was the play of the day, just trying to for Jordan to remember what games he casted and what plays even happened today. Interesting. Nat, what about you? What's your play of the day?
Look, I've noticed it's a trend. It's either an ace or a Baron still that gets play of the day, but I'm pretty sure we had 4 different aces today, and I don't remember exactly what game it was, but there was one ace right near the end on top of the Nexus, and then I think it went ace and then backed into another thing. So I'm going to say that's my guess.
I want, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I've thought of one, Mac. So, you know, you put me through all that. I actually want it to be one of the wombo combos with the Ziggs. All right? So that's what I want.
True.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, well, that's certainly a contender. But unfortunately, Jordan, it was not. And what it was
Trash.
the order ace at the Baron after Chiefs did the Baron. So
That's
I think
what I
this
was
is the one
talking
you
about.
were talking about,
Yeah,
Jubes,
yeah,
when
yeah.
Chungy just comes in and farms up a store, fish in the barrel. Look at this man just shoot some missiles in there.
This is a play-by-play accent.
Changyi on the corky, just dropping bombs. Look at him go, man. Weaves in an auto attack there. The roll goes in. Massive CC coming out of there. Changyi again with the rocket. Laying on to live. Kisei goes down into the Zhonya's. Katsuo comes through. Might turn the team fight. Time to perfection. Changyi, oh my god, Liv coming in. Flashes away from the Renekton stun. It is an absolute wombo combo and a team fight ace coming out of order.
Why don't you just solo the show next time, Juice? I mean,
Why
why do
don't we
I
get
even
that
need to be
live?
here?
I think Juice
just
can do
wanna
it all.
all the time.
Started sweating again. I hate that. I'm never doing that again. I just sweat when I do that. I need
You're a
the performance lab to
Many talents.
suss me out.
Man of many talents, Jubes. And look, we'll let you do it all. So, what do we got? I think Witherby said we've got the standings. So do you want to bring that in for us, Jubes?
Yeah, we've got the standings coming on through. It's on a single, but I believe I'm not the standing.
But are you single?
I believe the standing is Pentanet on top. 10-0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 8-2 on Peace, the hype train. Trying to catch Pentanet there. Direwolves
Okay.
in order. 6-4. Hey, that's a bit of a twist. That's around the twist, do you reckon?
What's around the twist?
The Order and Direwolves, 6-4. Order
Yeah.
are basically third place with that. Well, they are in third place. They just need to beat Direwolves.
Do you want to, because I have no idea what it means, but do you want to tell us what that highlight means on Peace there too?
Oh, they're locked.
Yep.
So Pentanet and Peace are actually locked for playoffs,
Yep,
ladies
that's
and
it.
gentlemen. So congratulations to those two teams there.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
How
Thanks
about
for-
those bottom of the table teams? What do they got going for them?
Gravitas and Mammoth are definitely in the developmental phase of the split now, I think, where
Yep.
you know, they can make a late surge for sure. They're still in it to win it. Late surges are well and truly possible, but week on week they're improving bit by bit. And Legacy and Chiefs probably competing for that last spot.
All right, the one-man show. What's the next segment, Juice? It's our
Well,
favorite segment.
The next segment is from, well, if I had to just think about it, it's
Think
from
about
the
it.
fans, right?
He's on it. He's on it. It is from the fans. So let's bring that up. And of course, Jubes, please introduce this one and then
Oh.
throw it over to the other experts to break down.
I know Chaos Josh, so I'm going to throw this one over to Nat or Elfish. Who do you want?
Oh, you don't
Who
want
wants
to
to break
you
it
don't want
down?
to banter him too hard?
Nah, he's a sub. I can't.
Okay, what about, I mean, to be honest, Mac is a jungle main himself, so I almost feel like it's better for Mac to do it, but I'm happy to do it if you don't want to take it, Mac.
Look, man, he's a Kane main. I always completely demolish every Kane I play. So maybe I feel like that's probably too complex of a champ. That's why you're on that 55% win ratio here. See that Nocturne? You're sitting on that 75%. I'd stick to something more simple like that, all right? Kane, it takes a big brain, and sometimes you need to just focus in that energy on the Nocturne and just right-click your way to victory, steal all your teammates' kills with your ultimate, press W at a perfect time, and look, you'll find yourself out of silver and all the way into diamond, and you'll be playing with Juice.
One of the things that I always like to look at when I'm talking about skill level or play or whatever is that, at least in this instance, there's a lot of deaths, okay? So in my mind, and again, it probably differs a little bit down in silver, but I think anything more than 4 deaths is mostly unacceptable when it comes to solo queue. So got to get those deaths down a little bit. There's one game in there, 5-4-11. Don't mind that one, but 12 deaths, 11 deaths, even if they're wins, just a little bit too much in my mind.
Yeah, perfect. Now, Jubes, do we have another one?
Yeah, look, I do believe we have another one. Thanks
Beautiful.
for sending that through, Cass Josh. Appreciate that, mate. We've got Tron the Pom here. Now, another Warwick main, by the way, just quietly. Natty,
Yes.
talk to me. Get involved. Get amongst the conversation. What do you think about this OPGG?
Yeah, look, I'm going to take a leaf out of your book here, Jubes, and I'm going to say, you know, the win rates on the Nautilus is looking good, so I think what
Yeah.
you have to do is you just maybe have to drop whatever full-time work you've got going on. If it's uni, just, you know, shelve it. No one really cares about that one, and just start pumping more hours into it. It's the only way you're going to start climbing out of Diamond a little bit more. Also, page out of Jordan's book here. Maybe just die a little bit less, I would say. You know, if you're up there in Diamond 4, I don't think you should be averaging anything more than 3 deaths, if I'm honest.
Okay.
And you know what? It's pretty good otherwise. It's looking good. I just keep that grind up.
It's not a bad breakdown, is it? If you're being completely honest.
Well, the one thing I
wanna-
want to say is hard stuck Diamond 4 by the looks of things.
Hard stuff.
What are you? What rank are you?
I mean, look, I'm hard stuck Plat 4, so that's fine. Oh, no, I think I'm Plat 3, so maybe I'm not hard stuck anymore. But you know what I mean? 48% win
all I
rate,
wanna
Diamond
say
4.
Is this man's has missed the meme number. He's got 202 wins, 220 Ls. You know what number that is? 422. So you've missed the meme. It's very unfortunate. And look, Jubes, do we have one more?
You know what? Yes, we do. We do.
Yes, we do.
And this one, let me tell you, is from Satanic. But his at is a little bit different. It's at Boydell. Okay, at Boydell.
What about? Isn't it a Boydell?
Nah, he messaged me on MySpace, and it's actually at O Boydell.
Okay, all right.
So he's gold 1. Okay.
Yep.
62 wins, 54 losses. Not bad statistically. 53% win ratio. Now, he's opted in for the poke Varus build. Actually, when I look at a majority of his builds, he does like the poke build. Sorry, say that again.
The Sivir build as well.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
I mean, I like it. I like to play with that Sivir build, obviously, as a support player. The only thing I can really say about this is I think that in these losses, it's got to be support diff. It's always support diff. It's never the ADC's fault. So I think all he has to do is just keep playing and hope for some better support laners. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, can I ask a quick question? So
Yeah.
I'm seeing like a high lack of use of these control wards. Is that just because ADCs are just, you know, like they're the last person on the team that should be invested in the control wards? They should just be going for those items as fast as possible? Or is he just lazy?
Oh, look, if I'm being completely honest, he's breaking the summoner's code a little bit, okay? Because everyone needs to contribute to Vision. Team game, we need to all work together as a team to get the desired result. However, if you're slacking in the control ward department, you're then putting a lot more pressure on your support partner. Then the support partner feels a little more stressed of their ability. So what you can do to make the life of your support a little bit easier is just contribute to the Vision game just that little bit more.
It's all about that Vision game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I believe that brings us to the end. Jubes, does it?
Yeah, look, to be honest with you, it does bring us to the end. However, it's not the end of the road, it's just the end of the show. The road continues to Friday, okay? We got Friday to look forward to. I won't be here. Nat will be here. Mac will be here.
I'm always here.
Not sure about Elfish. You got to let me know. And we got the schedule. We have Direwolves and Order, right? That's going to be a blinder. That is absolutely going to be a blinder. Get your popcorn ready. Strap yourself in for that one. Peace versus Legacy. Mac, what do you reckon about that one? Blinder?
Oh, absolute blinder. Has to be.
Gravitas versus Mammoth is going to be the battle of who can make the late surge for playoffs. So keep your eyes on that game because the winner of that really does, you know, almost creep up on Legacy, if you will. Pentanet versus Chiefs, another one. Must win for Chiefs. Must not lose for Pentanet. So if I'm being completely honest, I'm actually upset I'm not here on Friday because there's some fantastic games and I'll definitely have the popcorn, maybe a protein shake, and I'll strap myself in, extra butter on the popcorn, and we'll be ready. And maybe I'll watch it with Witherby. You just whispered in my ear. We'll watch it together. So I'll definitely be there watching it with Witherby.
I want to point out quickly, I don't know if you said it, Jubes, but with the Gravitas and the Mammoth matchup, whoever loses their chance to reach playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Fully. They're just out of the picture. But also in saying that if Chiefs win, the other person also loses their chance, right? Because the only way that one of these two teams have to come back in is to tie with Chiefs. So Chiefs need to lose all of their games from here on out, and Mammoth or Gravitas have to win all of their games from here on out. They're the only ways that one of those bottom two teams make it into playoffs.
I just want to let everyone at home know that Jubes, he's done a spectacular job. I've really loved it. I'm actually running out of ink. But if I was a judge on a panel, which I feel like is part of this job, I'd give him a 10.
Wow.
Look at that. I'll give you a 10. That's out of 10 as well. So you've got full marks there, mate.
Can I
congratulations.
say, I had the pleasure of learning from the very best in the business, the creme de la creme. And that was you, Elfish.
Oh, thank you so much,
And
Hughes.
Mac.
It's very kind of
And
you to
Mac.
say.
And Mac.
He's
been
certainly
watching
the
some of my
hostess
CSGO broadcasts, I guess.
with the
No,
mostest.
what is that game?
What?
Nat,
What game?
do you know?
No, I actually don't think John said anything.
CSGO.
No,
I've never
do
heard
they-
of it in my life.
No, that's
Do
not
they
what I
have
said.
it on the Rift?
I was talking about World of Tanks.
Mac, you're the best.
Thanks. Thank you. Who wants to close the
just
show?
happened?
Because we're sharing roles today. Who reckons they'll nail it?
I reckon Nat should have a crack.
No,
Oh.
you want to say goodbye and see you on Friday?
I would
Wrap it up.
absolutely love to. Look, thank you so much, guys, for joining us through all of the roller coasters of the game. Some potential upsets, but unfortunately, only one that went in favor of Mac. And hopefully, we'll see you guys on Friday for some more potential upsets.
The counter engage, and they found it. It's 1-0 so far on court through most of Order. But how big of a difference does that really make? Order are so uncontested right now that even with Baron, Chiefs are completely wiped.
It's gone from a 50 CS deficit to 100.
Beats has to be dead here. He has to die.
Ooh,
Edwards
he's buffing it.
misses. Oh, they've actually gone for the TP into base. No way. Order,
Yeah.
they're all going to make it. They're going to make it. It's done. It's surely done. Chiefs can't get back. Maximizer's on it. Chungy's on it. Nexus is down. At the moment, leading the charge. Does he look for a headbutt pole right now? He does. Cupcake is the focus. Only stuck inside the Cataclysm, and there's the Mega Inferno Bomb. It's all working perfectly, Juice. That's exactly what Mammoth wants. It'll be a huge problem for Direwolves, but maybe that Cataclysm will be.
Ooh.
There's another Mega Inferno Bomb. And the curtain call from Schifrin as well is just sliding through the Direwolves roster. So far, the trades haven't gone too well, but Direwolves are so damn low. Shot, a one-shot.
Another all-in in the mid lane.
Curcio's going to go back, and Sybil is going to have to do it himself now. He will
Jungle
be
Faker.
able to. So strong in the early game is Udia. He's just going to chase Decoy down as well. Doesn't have the ultimate, so can't lock them down quite long enough. And here comes Call of the Forge God and Prated. Legacy have overstayed. The knockup catches in Curcio as he goes over the wall. This is it, Jews. That's the play that Legacy needed to avoid that allows Pentanet back into the lead. Piglet from that buster shot, you know. Anyway, speaking of the bot lane, a bit more here, and this time Piglet gets blown up. Well, this is the problem when you play him, Jane. Make something happen, nobody charges on in there on Scion, but once you're in, you can't get out, especially when Magnet Storm is available. Isaiah stunned up again. It's a double kill already for Violet. Hasn't quite gone too deep. Able to turn back around.